My mother, who passed away when I was about 8 years old, she she used to knit, and she and I would make little dresses together for my dolls, or we would work on different things. But she had a knitting bag, and that bag was something that I took to New York with me. And there were a couple of scarves and some hats that she made. And um, I had one of my friends, she's just an amazing all around artist. And so she taught me how to knit. And I remember her saying like, "Oh, you picked up on that really quickly." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna," but also like I wasn't doing anything. I just made this really long, called it like a long pot holder. I was like, this will be only one thing. It's not gonna do anything else. I'm not gonna finish it. It's not gonna be tassels. I'm just gonna like, you can use it to lift that baking pan. So I think that I was attuned to fiber because of my relationship with my mother. I did this in one of the classes I took. It was funny. I took this online class from a Malian artist, and he was doing mud cloth. And so it's a process that I do a lot, but not with mud. And so once I got the mud, I was like, oh, I need to move to wherever the Niger. You can get this mud. This is amazing. But I also really do this like black and white with indigo that I really like, and sort of tannin and iron. And then I had already had this indigo piece. And so this has been a good thing for me. In January 2020, after being an artist in residence at the Baltimore Natural Dye Initiative, I think I just felt very compelled to connect and continue the project in a future space. And so Blue Light Junction is center not only craft, but culture, and really looking at having a studio space where we're at once looking at this community in Baltimore City that is fully equipped in an agricultural setting. We're really just, I think, experimenting and trying a number of things to see this as a space where people can work on craft, where they can experiment with dyes, where we can workshop, but also people can put on films and talks and really just have access to a greater cultural perspective and insight. And also, I think, feel like there's some part of it that they belong to. For me in New York, I went to school at the School of Visual Arts and was a major in computer art. So textiles came personally many years later, but I had this really great group of people. We were all like in this artist world. And I feel like I got further introduced into this very intense, like Black creative community in Brooklyn. There was, this Black arts movement happening in Brooklyn, and had been happening since probably the early 80s. And so the sort of people that came up supporting each other from that, this group of friends kind of came from a lot of HBCUs like Spelman and Morehouse. And a lot of those people were coming from all over the country and sort of landed in New York. And so I was able to really connect to them. That was just great for me to have a relationship to and inside of, and to just be kind of mining through these creative relationships and watching people do really amazing work and interesting work. And sort of that gave me these ideas about self, and creativity and art and what I wanted to do. And so because I had a degree in computer art, I started working in television and film. And one of the moments that sort of switched things for me was the art director came in and she handed me this book and said, you're always talking about old ladies in baskets, like here's something. And so it was just this beautiful tome of what, came to be the place that I lived for a year, Oaxaca. And I just thought, oh, that, you know, and it was just colors. It was like colors and fiber and really like old ladies, which I do have an affinity for. Just all their wisdom and like what they radiate. I just was like, this is it. That's where I'm going. And so that was my commitment. Some of the women who I really love now as artists, you know, or learned about later, I didn't know that they spent time in Mexico. I think later I realized like, wow, this is sort of a seminal thing that I've seen people whose work I really appreciate and respect do. And so that was really powerful for me to learn after. But I just was, again, going where I felt led. And so textiles felt really strong and important to me. And I just wanted to weave. Still something that's really important to me and really magical in its process and in its practice. And the work of living in a small village and weaving 10 hours a day, those were my moments of meditation. One of the things about coming to teach at ARROWMONT that I'm excited about is obviously there's a long history of work with fiber, but also, you know, being surrounded in a specific kind of nature and the connection that draws into the work and how it inspires the participants in the class, and also how I will become inspired. For me, there's a lot of ownership and honor in the work that I'm doing. And so I think being at ARROWMONT, having the opportunity to give space so that the land is a part of the classroom, right, is really, I think, powerful and exciting.
Every evening when the sun goes down, get with my party and I begin to clown. I don't care what the people are thinking. I'm not drunk, I'm just a drinker. I set 'em up, another round. I set 'em up, another round. I set 'em up, another round. One more round won't get me down.